Welcome back. So today I thought that since in the last video we talked about someone who's not a great man, Andrew Tate, I think it's a good idea to try to find great men that are alive today because it's hard to find them, but instead of always looking to the past, I think it's good to look at what's around us, who's around us, and try to find the great men that are alive. So today I found one, or I think I found one. His name is Dewayne, and he runs the Dry Creek Wrangler School YouTube channel. I went to look at the About section of his channel just to see if there was anything about him, because I couldn't find anything else about him. Or not much about him online. I know he does have a website for his Wrangler School, but I went to his YouTube channel, and this is what it said. Dewayne has been living the horse life for over 30 years, both as a professional and private owner. As a husband of 30 years, the father of 7 grown children, as well as a grandpa to 4 grandchildren, this aspect of his life cannot be separated from the reality of who he is, and makes its way into the mix as well. As a Christian with a varied and unique history in the ministry, and a sometime law enforcement officer, he also brings these life experiences to the table. So that's just a little brief history of Dewayne, but I think it's also important that we talk about what he talks about in his videos, because it's not just general truths or knowledge that he talks about. He talks about philosophy. He talks about trying to live a proper life, trying to become a better man for your family, for you, first of all, but for your family, for the people around you. And there are some videos that I think you guys should check out, because he really has many wise words, many things to talk about. So these videos are Control That Temper, When You Just Ain't Got It All Together, Just Keep Walking Away, A Ship in the Storm, Thoughts on Becoming a Proper Kind of Man, and Accepting Responsibility for the Conditions of Your Own Life. And I think when you hear the titles of those videos, you can understand where it's going to go. So let's compare Dewayne to Andrew Tate. And Dewayne has actually talked about Andrew Tate in one of his recent videos. But let's take Andrew Tate. He's someone who's stating some truths about the world, about how men and women work, about relationships, and what life is like for men today, what life is like for women today, how most men are average, and how most women view most men as below average, things like that. What Dewayne talks about is, like I said, how to live a proper life. In some of his videos, he talks about how you need to endure. Especially as a man, you need to endure and try to move forward in your life. I've been watching his videos for quite a while, and it seems like, I believe he's in his 50s or 60s now, but he talks about this period in time of his life, a period of about 10 years, where he was constantly angry, was not in control of himself, not acting as the great man he could be. And that shows that there's an actual, genuine human talking to you, because he's admitting to the fact that there are problems with him, that he wasn't always great. And that's one thing you notice with great men, is they say, well, first of all, they don't call themselves great men. Andrew Tate, even though he's putting it on as like theater, he's a character, he'll say things like, I'm the smartest man in the world, I'm the greatest man in the world, the richest man in the world. Things like that, which it's part of his character, and he knows it's not true, obviously. And I think people that are watching him also know that it's not true, because they just want to adopt his character because they think it's cool. But great men don't say that they're great. And they also recognize their own flaws. Andrew Tate doesn't recognize his own flaws. He's said before, which is also part of his character, I have no flaws. There's nothing wrong with me. So, when a man can look back at his life, a man who's done lots of things, lived a very full life, and who today, now, Dewayne is running a business with his wife, and he's trying to still do as much as he can to continue being a great man and becoming a better man, a better version of himself, but also trying to have a positive impact on the people around him. I don't see Andrew Tate doing that, necessarily. Because you can't just state general truths and then go and say that you are somehow helping people. Now, I think a big reason why people latched onto Andrew Tate is because they hadn't thought of the world that way, or they finally found someone who was willing to say things that most people would not say. So I would say it's either one of those two things that encourage people to latch on to Andrew Tate and defend him and come to love him. So to me, while I don't know much about him, I think it's clear to me that Dewayne is a great man. And I'm sure if he saw this video, he would go, well, I'm just trying to do the best I can, which, like I said, is a characteristic of a great man. He recognizes that he can be better. And speaking of that, I think that soon I'll be making some videos explaining what I believe a great man is, and we can all talk about that and discuss that and try to add on to it, because I think it's important to specifically define the characteristics of great men so that we can emulate them in some way and become a better version of ourselves. So, to me, when I found Dewayne about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, it's been a long time since I found him, but as soon as I found him and I saw some of his videos that were more so focused on philosophy, I realized that he was rare, because not many people talk about that. And especially coming from such a small channel, he had a very small channel at the time. Now he has almost 500,000 subscribers, which is pretty crazy. But coming from such a small channel with this guy who is a cowboy, who's lived a good, honest life, who's trying to do the best he can, just sharing his experiences and the things he's learned, sharing how he's messed up in periods of time in his life, and what he learned from that. I think that's great. What is Andrew Tate sharing? He's sharing general truths about the world, and I don't think you would want to borrow anything from Andrew Tate's personal experience with the things he talks about, such as women, because they're not good experiences, especially with everything that's coming out now. But also just with I'll have tons and tons of women, tons and tons of girlfriends, cheat on them all, it's fine, men should cheat on their women, things like that. So, but yeah, I just wanted to share this because I think it's important that we try to find great men today, and if you guys would comment down below some other great men that you guys have seen, I would love to see them, because I think it's important that we talk about these men alive today. Teddy Roosevelt is cool. Louis L'Amour is cool. What else have I done videos on? Kit Carson is cool. They're all great men, but they were alive such a long time ago. So we need to try to find the men who are actually being men today. And I think that's very important. But anyway, I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.